Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's call. I will be joining, Lee will be joining me tonight as well. I'm sure everybody's amped because they've heard about that special surprise. So, we'll get into that later. But for tonight's business call, we are talking about circles of influence with Talita Badenhorst. So Talita is on the call tonight, so I'm really excited for this. So I'd actually like to introduce who Talita is for everybody. So as we can see on the next slide, there's a lovely picture of Talita with her family. I understand that she has two daughters and two boys, so she's got two lovely pigeon pairs. And as you can see, that's her husband in the image as well. So Talita was born in Cape Town and she studied art and English education at the Stellenbosch University. She was introduced to Young Living 2 years ago in June 2021 by Annabelle. So that's very exciting. One of the brand partners definitely recruiting another family member. And she was visited by Annabelle in May in 2021. And ever since then, she's loved the smells of the oils in her house. So she asked the family to buy a kit for her birthday, which was in June. And then she actually wanted her house to smell incredible, not knowing how the oils are actually going to change her life. And that's how she actually joined Young Living, to actually see how much more they have to offer. So every single month since she's actually got that kit for her birthday, she's experienced miracles on miracles. So apparently her allergies were gone. Also with her toddlers, she understood that it worked with a lot of ailments that worked according to constipation, for example. And then also she does say that it assisted her with using the hormonal oils. So that definitely does assist. So it works very well for friends and for family. And she's also shared a passion for essential oils, and she's very enthusiastic for tonight. So I can't actually wait to get started with tonight's call with Talita. Okay, so for tonight's call, because we're talking about the circles of influence, I'm sure everybody's wondering, what is influence? And it's not the people that you're going to find on social media. We're not talking about social media influencers. So influence, what influence actually is, influence is the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behaviors of someone or something, or the effect itself. So this actually goes to show that one individual can impact change through anything. It can be any person or anything itself. So tonight, we're actually going to put you through exactly what we're going to talk about, which is circle of influence. So I understand with you being an individual, right? Remember that because Young Living is a network marketing company, we often talk about the concept of circles of influence. So when we say the circles of influence, this definitely refers to the group of people with whom I can say you being a brand partner of Young Living has the potential to influence or to introduce the company's products, also the business opportunity. So if we're looking at this circle as a whole, right, this is who you are. And remember, you can branch out individually into this. So I believe that with you being the first person and you've been introduced to Young Living, the first circle of influence that's easy, and this is the basic or the foundation in which you can start growing your business, and this is your immediate family and friends. So why I'm saying this is because this is the closest circle of influence, and this consists of your family members, your close friends, as well as your acquaintances. Remember that being a Young Living brand partner, you can often start actually introducing it easier to these people because they have a higher level of trust and they're more likely to listen. And also the best thing about it is they're more there to support you more than anything else. So Talita, do you care to touch on exactly how you would influence this as part of your day today?
Um, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, definitely.
Yes, okay, great. Yes, well, when I received my oils or my kit, the first thing I obviously did was put it on in my house. And the diffuser went to the bedroom and the living room. I was carrying it around the whole day. So everybody definitely knew there was oils in the house. And whenever the family came to visit or any friends that came to visit, they definitely got to experience it firsthand. And obviously, my joy and all the miracles and testimonies that or things that happened to us, they got to hear about it firsthand, even if they didn't want to. So yeah, and everyone that came to visit got a free oil or a free roller or a sample to experience for themselves. So I definitely agree with you. That is definitely your first circle of influence that you get into contact with when you have bought your kit, because that is the people that are around you most of the day. So yeah, that's the people you spend the most time with. And like you said, people, that's also the people that trust you the most. So they're obviously going to listen to you and take something from you because yeah, they trust you.
Yeah. So I love that you actually said that you started using the kit at home. So this is where growth happens. So this, like I'm saying, is your first step, which you have explained. So I'm sure that you got a reaction from your husband as well as from the kids. So they definitely are your marketers from your home. So they'll definitely speak about this outside of the home as well. So yes, you do build trust as well. So that's amazing, because once they know it, they understand what it does, and once they've been influenced by the product, it's easier for them to market it or talk about it to anybody else. Am I right when I say that?
What yeah, what I like the most is that my children, my grade 7, my 13-year-old son, he goes on, when he goes on camps, he takes his little emergency kit with him. And then when he gets back, I get a lot of calls from parents also wanting to order some rollers because the child used the tummy roller on the camp or when they were away on the trip. I've lots of other friends from my high school kids that also contact me. So I love that the kids, they use it in the beginning and they can see that it works. And even though I don't ask them to sell it, for them it's like something that just comes naturally. So when they're at school and they have their rollers with them, it's easy for them to talk about it, and then the other kids also get interested. So that's one of my main things I want to do, is get the youth invested or excited about essential oils, because they are the future.
Oh wow, Talita. I mean, that's actually amazing, because when we're focusing on that as well, it makes it easier for you to learn a product. So that makes it easier for you to teach somebody else. So when it's easier to learn, it's easier for you to understand, and then it's easier for you to actually expand that knowledge onto your children as well. So understand that you found your niche, which you will speak about, which is that your kids, which you find much more easier to associate with and understand. So I love that you actually speak about that, because that makes it easier as well. So thank you for that as well, Talita. And then I understand we have the second circle of influence, and this is the extended social network. So we're not talking about Facebook, we're not talking about any of those social media platforms. This circle of influence includes a broader range of friends. So this is your colleagues, it's your neighbors, and it's also your social acquaintances. Remember that being a Young Living brand partner as well, you can expand your reach by tapping into this network and sharing the products or business opportunity. And this is with people who may not be as close, but they also still have a certain level of trust. So it's also easier for you to actually play around here and then test how well your marketing skills work from there. So this is where you are positioning this individually, instead of having somebody else market the product for you. So Talita, do you care to touch on this as well?
The social network for me is wherever I go outside of my home. Because I have 4 kids, obviously I go to school functions and events and things a lot. So that's why the main place where I have an extended social network. So these people that know me, they know that they can trust me. They have known me for a few years, since our kids have been together in school for quite a long time. So if we see each other, then and we get into casual conversation, then they know I'll always touch on something or another um, related to oils. I will never overdo the conversation or make it just about that, but I'll always make sure that I pop in something about that. Most people, when you ask them how they are, always have a little something to tell, especially now in the winter time, about how sick they've been, or the allergies that are irritating them, or they are feeling emotionally very overwhelmed. And for me, I can then share that the oils help me a lot, with all of those things. So even though it's just a casual conversation, everybody knows that I love essential oils and that I do have a knowledge about essential oils. So if they need to ask me something, then they know that I'm the number one person to help them. So that's why I always like to, when I'm in a casual conversation, just sort of ask everybody how they are, because it always triggers another conversation.
Well, that definitely speaks for me as well. And I love that you actually say that you use essential oils as a conversation starter, but also a social lubricant. So that's a really good thing that you actually touch on, because you are their first point of contact. And this is where you can start expanding from there. So another thing is that they can come back to you and they can ask for information or be educated. And this is where you can teach them better on that. So thank you for touching on the extended social network. So this is where we're looking at our neighbors as well. So if we're branching out a bit more further, this is where we're moving on to the community group. So when I'm saying community, we definitely look at what our brand partners push forward, which is part of various community or interest-based groups. So this is like your sports clubs, for example. It can be either your church, your temple, whichever religion that you follow. This can be a specific religious organization that you visit, also a hobby class. So this can either be an art class, it can be a bowling club, it can be I really love it, especially the oil parties. So this is another great one. So remember, these groups actually are people that are open to listening to you. And this also provides access to a wider audience that shares common interests and values. So they learn from you, and that's when they expand, but they also share their knowledge with you as well. So do you care to touch on the community part of this for us, Talita?
Um, I'm fortunate to live in a estate, which makes the community part actually quite fun, because we are on lots of community groups around us. People will post about coming to fetch something or a tree or something that they don't want anymore. So there's communication on the community group the whole time, which makes it very easy for me also to share about the workshops um, that I have at my home. So people out of the community always come to attend that, which is great. And then I also host workshops at their homes, which is also a nice way to get the other part of their network and the community involved in that way, if that makes sense. So yes, I do agree with you. And if you have lots of hobbies and you come together for a book club or whatever other thing you like to do, then it's also a nice thing to share about the essential oil. So it's just the informal conversation that you can have with those people as well.
Talita, another thing I just want to add on to this is that once you form part of those specific groups, which is your hobbies or wherever, and you find that common ground with a specific product that brought you together, it's easy for you to actually educate and learn more on that product that makes you better at it. So, for example, if you're going to an art class and you love diffusing lavender, for example, and somebody else loves diffusing lavender, it's so much easier to engage in a conversation with like-minded individuals in that room. So that definitely broadens your perspective as well. And it also makes it easier for you to grow your sales mindset. So when you actually pushing a product out there, you understand where you can and where you can't actually push a product onto somebody, because you're also testing it with like-minded people. So thank you for touching on the community part of it, okay? And then we move on to the one part, which is nowadays times, because we are in a very technologically advanced era, and social media is the main form of communication and brand reach, okay? So when we're looking at the online and social media circle, which is in our next part of this, so we often use these.
So the next one is professional networks. So And this is the circles that includes everybody that we, for instance, if you've got like me, a 9 to, well, not like I've got a 9 to 5er, but a lot of people still have full-time day jobs. This is people, business associates, professional contacts, and also this is also like for a lot of people, professional networks is also things like people from your, if for instance, now a homeschool mom, but you used to be a teacher, right? So those are also people from your previous professional networks, right? So it's not only your current professional network, but also those are people in your professional networks of your friends and family, and also of your past, right? So Talita, how do you tap into the professional networks?
Um, well, with my husband, he has got a big business that he runs. So he's got lots of people that are working with him and around him. So it's always so nice when he travels and he doesn't take any medicine with him anymore. He just takes all his rollers with him when he goes to and visits in Pretoria and sees everyone that's working there with him. And the last time he went up, he came back with only half the rollers because he left all of them up there for all the sick people. So I found that very interesting. So he got back and he said, "Okay, now I need another nasal drip roller and I need another allergy roller." So the nice thing about that is that he passes it on to his professional network, and they get talking about it. And even if it's not immediately, but like maybe 2 months or a year down the line, they also join the Young Living Network, and it's casually introduced to them, and it sort of gets to be part of their everyday life because they see my husband use it, so they're very curious about what it is. So I think that's also a nice casual way to introduce the oils to people, especially men, because they're a little bit skeptic about it at the beginning, I think.
Yeah, that's great. I agree with that. It's I mean, with this business, it's really about building trust and people getting introduced to the products, right? So and sometimes it gets to actually people first seeing the benefits for themselves before they actually inquire more, or before they actually say, okay, now I understand that this roller works. Please, can I have some more information, or please, can you tell me about the other products, or even the opportunity? I see Gavin is back, so Gavin, I'm going to hand back over to you.
Thank you, Lee. Sorry about that. Network in South Africa is always a thing. I do apologize for that. Thank you so much for that, Talita. I understand that it was professional network, and Lee, I believe it was actually serendipitous that it was meant for you to actually talk about professional network and for me to talk about online and social media. Okay, so as I've explained about social media, remember these are platforms that we use to engage, and this is to broaden our outreach for people that are actually active on it, which is our new age era. We look at platforms such as WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and nowadays TikTok as well. So even if you're creating reels that actually can attract people in, which is on Instagram or TikTok, also in your WhatsApp groups. It's so much easier for you to advertise and market yourself on these groups, which can actually attract a lot of people because somebody can put a problem out there and it's easier for you to actually find it, address it, and then market yourself from there. So Talita, do you use social media as well, if you don't mind me asking?
Yes, I do. I share on Facebook and Instagram, and on my WhatsApp status a lot. Mostly, it is to educate the people that are in my team, because I like the education, part of it, and keeping them also educated once they have joined. So I don't really actively go out on Instagram and Facebook to search for new clients. What I do is there's a lot of community groups on Facebook, mom groups and things that I am a member of. And every Friday when we're allowed to post something on there, I would either share an advert for my workshop, or I would share one of the Young Living products, or even about the rollers, because I found that people will they will try a roller for 180 or 200 rand, and then once it works, they'll get back to you, and then the conversation mostly goes into getting into them to a workshop. And then from the workshops, I usually do the kit sales, because I find that if I try to sell a kit to somebody that doesn't know me at all, that doesn't really happen. I need to build that trust thing first. So on the community group, there's also lots of people that ask questions, that have problems, that ask about a illness or something that's happening to the kids or their family. And then I'll jump in, and I would do a comment there and say, they're welcome to come and get a free roller to try for that specific ailment. And then normally they come and fetch it, and a week or two later, when they see it really works, then they get back to me. And that's where the conversations really start. And because you give them something for free, you immediately have got that trust relationship, because they actually want to know why you would give them something for free. So I find giving them a small gift, a roller for a baby that only needs about 10 drops of oil, is actually a great way to get somebody to be introduced to the whole essential oil world. And then from there on, they are quite keen to come and sit in on a workshop or join a workshop to learn more about how the oils work. And then I would try and make it as easy for them as possible to learn that they can actually mix their rollers themselves, and it's not as difficult as they think it is.
Wow, Talita. So I also just wanted to find out, like, when you are proposing this to people, because I know a lot of people are not very friendly with the oils, if I can put it that way. Like, teaching them how to mix the oils, is that also easy for you?
I think because maybe it's because I have a teacher's degree, so I love, teaching stuff to people. So I think maybe it is because I find it so easy to mix the oils, and I'm so passionate about how the stuff works that I find it actually very easy to teach people at workshops about the essential oils and the benefits of it, and then also how to DIY and mix things for themselves. So, and I also try to keep it as easy, with easy recipes that they can actually go home and do themselves. So, and then also if they join, I always give them a little box with recipes and things that they can start off with in the first few weeks, so that they don't feel they get the whole kit and what now? They don't really know what the next step is. Some people find it very difficult to mix oils in the diffuser or to know how many drops to put in there. People also, they don't really know how to mix the rollers. So even though you explain it to them, they need to actually have something that they can read to redo it again at home, just so they can get comfortable with the whole idea, if that makes sense.
No, definitely. And we understand that trying and trying, practice makes perfect. So perseverance also counts. So thank you for that. So it also goes to show that you can teach anybody about it. And the more they actually learn about it, the easier it is for them. So it's definitely just transferring that energy so that they can transfer it onwards. So that's definitely true. So as Kerry has said in the chat, that experience is the best teacher. And then we move on to the last one, and this is the most difficult one, which I often find very hard to actually approach, which is the cold market. And yes, it is very cold as it sounds. So this is beyond your personal connections. Often when you can't branch any of these 5 circles, this is when you jump into the cold market. This is the deep end. So this involves when you reach out to individuals who have no relationship at all with you or anybody else. So this includes your network events, like if you're going to for shows or maybe public gatherings where you can create new connections, if I can put it that way. So it's so much easier for you to be out there, and this is during your day-to-day, and just finding somebody to speak about and then prospecting from there, if I can put it that way as well. Have you branched out into the cold market before, Talita, if you don't mind me asking?
Um, the cold market for me would be somebody that I've just met at a social event. My social events at the moment, like I said, is more towards the school social events, because there's quite a lot of those. So yeah, I like talking to people. So I like to do conversations with people that I don't know at all. So, and they'll always ask me, what do you do? And yeah, that's the wrong question for them to ask, because then I'll keep on talking for the rest of the evening. So, yeah, I know I talk about oils a lot and maybe too much, but yeah, I'm just very passionate about it. So I usually get people a little bit interested in that. And even though it might not be that they will contact me, but sometimes they'll say, oh, they're very interested. If you have another workshop, send me an invite. So that's normally, you know, how I would approach the cold market. I never think about it as actually approaching a cold market, or that I don't know these people and that they don't trust me. For me, it's just a social event. And oils is not something I do. It's actually at the moment, I think, who I am. So it's just part of my everyday life. So it's easy for me to make that a part of the conversation. And it usually leads to them being very curious about it and asking some more questions.
And I'm sure it also gets a bit, well, for you, I would say that it gets really, really, well, you actually enjoy it a lot more, because when they ask questions, this is where you actually come forward and you bring out that personality of yours, especially how enthusiastic you are about using the oils and how beneficial it is for you. So I actually love that. But I also wanted to ask one question. When approaching a cold market, it's very difficult, because we know that some people are very introverted as well. So what's the best approach that you would recommend for somebody that's more introverted, that's approaching somebody new? What would be your best first foot forward, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I would think if you are scared and you don't really know how to approach it, the best way for me always is to share what you do. I think if you share your experience, or if you maybe share that your kid went for a driver's license today and she was so anxious and she actually used this amazing essential oil roller. I mean, it's not actually something you don't really need to be scared about, because it's not like you are selling, you are just actually sharing something that happened in your day. If you don't like social events and you don't like speaking to people that you don't know, maybe using, I don't know, the social media route, looking at who's actually following you on Instagram. If you don't know them, maybe send them a message on Instagram, just telling them that you see they always like your status, or they're very curious about the oils. That might be a better way for you, if you're an introvert, to actually get into the cold market, if you don't like approaching people that you actually don't know. So I would suggest, maybe rather than going that route, if
Yeah, I think Talita might have muted herself by mistake there.
sorry, can you hear me?
Definitely, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes. Did you hear me about the Instagram? Not.
Yes, yes, yes. And then you
Yes.
just
Okay.
went quiet.
Yes. No, so I was just saying that I think it's a better way for you to approach the cold market, or people you don't know, if you actually then do it maybe over WhatsApp or Instagram messages or Messenger. Yeah, if you on a group like the community group that I'm on, like reaching out to those people, that you don't have to do a face-to-face conversation if you don't feel comfortable with that.
Well, I love that approach. That's more like the keyboard ninja approach. But it also works very well for people that are introverted. That's a very good tip. I'm actually going to use that next time, because I'm very shy. But no, I'm kidding. I'm not really shy. Anyway, so thank you so much for sharing that part, Talita. Just remember that everything that you're seeing on screen, which we can find, these six circles. Remember that we all connected by the people around us, whether you see them in person, whether you interact through technology. Always consider a circle as a group of people that you have a history with, and also people that you can regularly interact with, or you just share common interests with. So you don't know it actually, but you're actually operating in a different circle throughout the day, as much as you don't see it. So always remember that you could be in a circle and you might not even know it. So just remember that by looking in your circles, you can easily identify people that that would either benefit from the Young Living product. Alternatively, you can identify it whether they're looking at it for the business opportunity. So you can definitely make that decision by actually looking and identifying that. So thank you for that, Talita. And then we look at the 4 tips for approaching these circles. So the first tip that we have, which I absolutely enjoy, is that you build relationships first. So Talita, do you care to tell us exactly how you'd build a relationship with these people?
I for me, trust is very important. So, like I said, you need to invest in relationships and obviously build trust. I find that we live in a world where people don't really care so much for each other anymore. You don't seem to, I don't know if there's no time, but I like to reach out to people and just ask them how are you, and how's your day been, because I think that if you just find that 5 minutes of time, even if you only check in with 5 people a day, just to ask them how they are and if you can do something for them, or if they've had a tough day, because caring about them and just investing that way makes a big difference, because they know that you are thinking about them. And then, like I said, if it's somebody you don't know, it definitely works to give them a free sample or just give them some free advice, even if you can just do that. I mean, it's very easy to give free advice. They don't have to follow it, but maybe next time, if they need some advice, they'll ask you. They might find that it would be something that they would like to do. Um, I also just find that people definitely buy from you much easier, or are interested in what you are interested in, if they definitely do trust you. So that for me is very important. And then, like, yeah, so communication definitely, like I said, also if you share knowledge with them, knowledge that you have that they might not have, and then be open-minded. If they ask you questions, to be honest and to answer them as honestly as possible, and actually to take time and invest that time in the relationship with them. Maybe take them out for a coffee this week, talk about everything except essential oils. In a week or two, or in 3 weeks or a month, ask them out for coffee again. Maybe this time the conversation will lead to essential oils, but the first time they might think that you actually just inviting them to make a sales pitch, and actually you don't. So for me, it's about reading the situation and just making sure this relationship I have with all these people, even if it's old friends, new friends, people that I don't really know as well. But I like to take time to just talk to them and to check in with them and to see how they are. And like I said, if somebody says they're not sleeping well, I will give them a diffuser to try for a week and give them some free oils, and just see how it goes. So that's the way that I like to build relationship, to give something, to share some knowledge, to give something that I can actually give away for free, and that doesn't cost me anything, but it might make a big difference in their lives.
Wow, Talita, I'm learning a lot from you, especially knowing that your love language is sharing. So that's amazing as well. And knowing that you can build relationships from that. So that's ensuring that you're nurturing a genuine relationship with the people that you're actually communicating with, and taking the time to catch up as well. And also the fact that you're showing interest in their lives and listening to their needs and interests. That's definitely building a strong foundation, and that builds trust and rapport as well, and that makes them more receptive if you are introducing the business part of it. So thank you for that part. And then we move on to the educate and inform. So this is when you're introducing the network opportunity, and this is when you're focusing on educating and informing rather than pressuring. So this is when you're providing clear and concise information about the products, also like the compensation plan and the benefits of joining your team. So also make sure that they understand what the opportunity entails and how it aligns with their goals. So how do you actually educate and inform people as well, Talita? Do you care to share?
Well, I think by this time you guys know that my main education platform is the workshops that I give. I love actually hosting the workshops because that's the way that I can show everybody the products and introduce the products to them firsthand. By not only can they look at it, but they can experience it and they can ask questions about it. Actually, there's a little bit of DIY there. There's opportunity for them to taste Ningxia. There's opportunities where they can ask questions. And so that to me is still the best way to educate and inform. I do not do the workshops to make money from them. I ask a basic fee, 50 Rand mostly or 100 Rand, which does not cover my costs, but for me, that is definitely an investment that I want to make, or that I make, not even worrying about it, because I know that the money part always comes back. So for me, the number one worry that I have is not what is it costing me. It's more about how many people can I get to share the oils with this week, without it costing them actually anything, and for them to just actually come and learn about it and go home with a roller that they can use every day and actually see if it works. And then when I get that WhatsApp a week later and somebody tells me I actually went off my antidepressants because I was breastfeeding or I couldn't use them, and your roller has been a lifesaver, that to me is like the highlight of my week. So I do educate and inform people one-on-one on WhatsApps also. I check in with all my members every month. At the end of the month, towards the middle of the month, I send them WhatsApps one-on-one. I do have a group, but I find that people never read the information on a group. So I send them the specials again. I ask them, do you know these oils? Would you like to know more about these oils? I also share with them about the app that they can download and they can actually learn on their own. But I find that most people are very busy and don't have time for that. So for me, it's easier to send a WhatsApp and just tell them the special is geranium, bourbon, and grapefruit. You know, you can do this and this and this with these two wonderful oils. I share how I use it. So I find that the workshop, actually looking somebody in the eye and educating them, and then following up with your members one-on-one and having a conversation with them, is definitely two of the main things that I find very important in the networking business, that, yeah, that is the oils and young living. So if that makes sense.
No, that definitely does make sense. Thank you for that, Talita. And then we move on to the next part, which is to highlight personal benefits. So as I said in the last statement as well, remember that they need to understand what the opportunity entails and how it aligns with their goals. So this is where you're actually tailoring your approach to address their needs. And remember that this is based on each specific person in your circle of influence. So you can emphasize on the benefits of the opportunities, whether it's through, for example, with Young Living, we also look at the extra income. You're looking at flexible hours, which means that you're spending time with your family, also the personal growth that comes with it. And the best thing about Young Living is our high quality products. I mean, it doesn't get better than this on our side. So you definitely showing how the opportunities aligning with their specific goals. So do you also tailor this as part of your approach, Talita?
Yes, I would definitely, every time that I do a workshop, I touch on the fact that you can also do or run or be part of this as a brand partner, you know, also sharing it with people around you and the personal benefits that will have for you as well. So that's definitely one of the things that I also share with them. And I also, the big part of that is also sharing my own testimony. And you know, actually sharing with them that when I started, or when I bought my starter kit, it was definitely not to join Young Living as a brand partner. That was not my number one goal at that stage. It was actually just to get my house to smell nice, which was actually such an interesting way to think about it if I look back now. But it just sort of, if you start using the product sort of sells itself. And because that happens, people that get excited about it are very open to having a conversation about the personal benefits that not only the products can have, but also being part of the business. So that's when I would normally have a conversation with them about also going out there and sharing with people and the benefits that that would have for them as well.
Thank you for that, Talita. That definitely speaks on it as well, which we definitely love touching on the personal benefits of this. And then we move on to the last part of this, which is the fourth point. So this is where you're offering support and training. This is your favorite part. I'm pretty sure that you know when it comes to this. So this is the follow-up on it. Do you care to tell us exactly how you add this as part of your approach as well?
Well, normally if somebody wants to buy a product or join Young Living, I don't straight off explain all the details to them all at once, because I find that they get a bit overwhelmed. So I would guide them actually into signing up. Most of the time, that would be something I do with them or I do for them. And then after I've done the first order, I would invite them for coffee or sit down with them, actually show them how the website works. Some of my members don't like to computers or order on their own. They're a bit part of the older generation that don't really understand how it works. So in that way, I support them by actually checking in with them on WhatsApp and actually placing or just putting their monthly order in with them and just double checking that they have done it the right way. I know this takes up some time, but I do find that that is just the best way to make sure that everybody knows what is going on. I find that after month 3 or 4, most of these people are very well educated and they know how the system works. And they know that I'm there. They can send me a message anytime. I will answer as soon as it is possible for me to answer. I also train them how to use the oils. Like I said, I give them a little gift box with the main things that they do the first time they use it. After that, they'll ask me about recipes. We also have the nice community groups that they can join, which is a great support. So if I can't answer them, they can pop a question on the group. The botanical tribe that Annabelle's created is amazing for that. And I love her so much for that. And everybody, every partner that's on that group that supports my members. And it's just so much love on that group and so much free advice and tips. And I think people join because of that, because of all the support and the love and people sharing free stuff every day, never asking, you know, for credit on that, which is amazing. So, and like Annabelle has helped me and trained me to where I am at the moment, because I've definitely not come to where I am on my own. And that's definitely then also how I see training people in my team and going forward, because it's definitely a pay it forward system. And if you want to grow your network and team, you definitely need to educate daily. When people are asking you questions, maybe doing a WhatsApp class every now and again, or doing a Facebook class on something specific. I love the incentive or the initiative that you guys ran with the starter kit oils. So it was nice for me to make some graphics on the starter kit oils and share it all through South Africa at once. I found that very cool. To me, that was great. And now I have those slides and I can share them with my team. I always like to once a week share about an oil in my group that they don't know anything about, to educate them about that specific oil, and then definitely follow up monthly and make sure everybody is all right. And that I'm and reminding them that I'm there if they need something they can check in.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Talita. These tips definitely go hand in hand with approaching your circles. So if you definitely want to have the same approach as Talita has, because she's so passionate about sharing, educating and informing, but also building relationships as well. So thank you so much for your testimony and time, for educating the brand partners on the call, and actually the people on the call, including myself and Lee. For this edition of the call tonight, there is worksheets that is available, and I will include a link when we upload this call either tomorrow. And with these worksheets, this makes it easier for you to identify which is on the left hand side. It's easy for you to identify your circles of influence, whether it's your family, it's a group, whether it's an online community, or connections. You can definitely just add in one of these circles where they fall under. Okay, and that's when you can identify your group. On the right hand side, what you can do for that specific group that you've chosen, this is where you're going to highlight or write the names of people that you've actually added to that group, which makes it easier for you to it's easier for you to identify and also action on this group. Okay, so it makes it easier for you to also connect, and it also helps you build a database so that you know what kind of approach suits them better. So it's easier for you to influence this specific group of people with the advice that Talita has given, and also some tips that I've shared as well. So thank you so much for that, Talita. I'll make sure that these worksheets are handy for everybody tomorrow. As we move on to the next part of our call, which is the promotions for the month, because it has fallen for Women's Month, we still have the hormonal oils available for purchase. So on the next slide, as you can see, we have Dragon Time, Clary Sage, Endoflex, and Progessence at a whopping 10% off. As you can see as well, we do have it. If you're purchasing all of them, you're getting a massive 30% off. We're also recommending that you can buy the roller bottle set of 6. This goes really well with the hormonal oils. We did have a call as well on this. It is on YouTube for those that have been asking about it as well. So thank you so much for that, Talita. And then we move on to the exfoliating bottle. So this has the grapefruit 5 ml as well as the geranium bourbon 5 ml. And if you're purchasing these two, you're saving 17%, plus you're getting a free bath mat. This is great for exfoliating. So I also love this because you can create your own scrub as well, which I have put out there. So thank you so much for that. And then our amazing new launch that we've had is the rose ointment. So this is a 24.5 gram. This is dynamite in a bottle. This will definitely take you a long way. This is great for dry skin as well. This is available for 475 rand. It is made with Young Living's rose essential oil. It doesn't smell like rose though, but it works really, really well. So thank you for having myself. So I will hand over to Lee. Lee has some exciting news to share with everybody. So Lee, do you care to take it away?
Hi, Gavin. I just want to thank you, Talita, because it really, really was amazing information. It's all good and well that we can say, oh, this is circle of influence and this is how it works. But it really hits home for somebody that's actually doing it on a day-to-day basis and is successful at with what they're doing, because Talita is one of our fastest growing brand partners out there. So thank you for sharing your insight and your passion. I think, and that's what shines through, right? At the end of the day, even if you don't know anything, I'm definitely not saying that Talita doesn't know anything about oil, right? But if you're a brand new person that don't know anything about oils, just have one oil that you love. It's just share the passion of that one oil, right? So yeah, so I see that Gavin has made the countdown early in the week, and I guess I'm supposed to say something exciting. I know that everybody was sort of counting down for something, but I don't think you knew what you were counting down for. So let me not delay it any longer, and let me tell you what is happening. Okay, so So from tomorrow, okay, so it is from the 25th until the last day of the month, which is the 31st, if you enroll somebody with the PSB, but only the feather PSB, so we've got one for kiddies, and then or we've got one for adults, which is the lantern diffuser, right? So, but it has to be a PSB with a feather or a PSB with a lantern. You will get a free retention gift. So nothing changed there, right? But that's the first thing that you're getting. Then we are very excited to announce the second thing that you will be getting is 20 ER points, because it's 100 PV. So that's part of our PV promo. So okay, let me stop. Let me just break the ice and say, from tomorrow, if you enroll somebody, for the first time ever in South Africa, we have never done this before. If you enroll somebody with either the feather PSP or the lantern PSP, we will give you a free, not you, you will give them a free wire diffuser valued at almost 780 Rand. So remember when Talita said when she joined, she had to plug in a one diffuser into the kitchen and then move it to the dining room and then move it to the bedroom. Now you've been giving the new enroller 2 diffusers, the one that they enroll with and load shedding proof diffuser, which you can plug into a laptop, plug into a power bank, plug into your car. So that is for all enrollments. Young Living South Africa has never given away a diffuser. We love the Via diffuser. So please, yeah, goodbye load shedding. I agree with you, Annabelle. This is really an amazing offer. And I just want to remind everybody, when you enroll somebody with a new PSP, you are you will get 2 bonuses. So this is really what's in it for you, right? Not only will you get the Fast Start bonus, but you will get the PSP bonus as well. And I just want to remind everybody that the Fast Start bonus, with the new updated Fast Start bonus and the PSP bonus, it's a whopping 862 Rand 50. I mean, that's really, we know the things are tight out there, but this is really, really amazing value that you can get by enrolling people with us. So now we've given you the education about your circles. We've given you the education about what to do, how to build relationships with them. Now we've given you a tool to go to them and say, this is something that I can offer you because we've never done this before. And then also what's in it for you is there's amazing bonuses. Then I would just also like to remind everybody and sort of share this for those who don't know about this yet. We are having our very first Good and Well Expo. And the first place, so what is the Good and Well Expo? This is the Experience Wellness Expo, where we are aimed at educating people on the basics of the human body, healthy habits, where we can adopt Young Living in order to lead a cleaner lifestyle free from harmful toxins and chemicals. Now that is a mouthful, but basically what it is we are going to have an expo where, sorry, let me just fix my screen, where people can come to. There's going to be stalls with all our products where people can come to. There is going to be talks, 5 different talks, and it varies between hormones, it varies between kiddies, it varies between, there's from bits and switch. So, but we will share all the information. We are very excited to share our very first pit stop for our first expo is Bloemfontein. And the expo details is, it is at the Pepermosie. It is on the 16th of September, Saturday. It will run from 9 to 5. People can buy tickets on Quicket. Yes, they can buy tickets on Quicket. It is available. The ticket price is 200 Rand. They will be getting a goodie bag worth more than over 500 Rand just from the ingredients. We're not even talking about the beautiful goodie bags that they will be getting. They will be getting trained. They will get educated. But so as you can see, our first stop is Bloemfontein. After that, we will be coming to Cape Town and Johannesburg in October. So watch this space. Gavin, I'm going to hand over to you to wrap up with the quote. So, guys, go out there. You've got the tools. We're very excited to see this promotion, how it's going. And then also, we're looking forward to our very first expo. But good luck for the week. Gavin, back to you.
Thank you so much, Lee. Is there any way that I can enroll somebody with a PSB to get a Via for free?
You'll have to speak to maybe ask Talita if she can. You can borrow one of her people that she enrolls to get a Via.
Oh, thank you so much. That's a really exciting promotion. I'm also excited. I know brand partners are gonna do that. But thank you so much for this, Talita. I really do appreciate you coming on the call tonight to share your testimony and insight. We really do appreciate it. It's very, very heartwarming for myself as well as for Lee. So I'd like to end the quote for tonight that says the greatest thing in this world is not so much where we stand as in what direction we are moving. And this is by Johann Wolfgang von Hutter. Yes, that's also a mouthful, but thank you so much, Lee, for joining the call. Thank you, Talita. I hope everybody has a great evening. Lots of love from Young Living. Thank you, and see you for the launch call. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.